that don't they don't help each other out in the same deck.
Right.
So Tim decided he would try it in Rug, and he was very happy with it. So here we are. Edgar Flores on the left, Tim Landale on the right. Flores on his typical blue-white Caw-Blade with just some slight modifications with new Phyrexia cards, including like Batter Skull. Not even sure what else. Probably Spell Skites in the board if anywhere else. Yeah, I'm guessing.
I can imagine he has it in the board.
Landale, obviously on the play here, leads with an Island and I believe a Preordain on turn 1, and then Edgar goes with a Seachrome Coast. Landale goes turn 2 Preordain, which is Spell Pierced, I think, and a third Preordain from Landale. Is that 3 Preordains in his graveyard? Can we confirm that, Rashad?
No, it's a Spell Pierce.
Oh, did he Spell Pierce back?
He Spell Pierce back.
That's what it is. Never mind, Rashad. Good call. Yeah, I couldn't see it. Now I can see it. So Flores on the turn 2 Stoneforge Mystic. Anybody just joining us, I'm Joey Pasco here with Big Head Joe. We're watching the semifinals of some Orlando Magic here, the StarCityGames.com Open Series in Orlando, Florida. I have to keep referencing Orlando Magic, sorry. If I were from Orlando, I think I would not be doing that very often, because I'm sure Orlando players are sick of Orlando Magic references, but
yes,
hey, like, I'm not. I'm having a blast.
Postseason performance, but anyway, I digress.
So, Flores playing his classic blue-white Caw-Blade, tutors up a Sword of Feast and Famine with his Stoneforge Mystic there on turn 2. Landale now taking his third turn.
Flores just won't let it go. I'm just kidding.
Now this is an interesting question from Twitter. Actually, I don't see it on yours.
To register for the
I'll wait till the announcement.
Open of the day. About 10 minutes remaining to register for the first draft open of the day. Come on up and see Sarah.
So,
yeah, somebody asked, do we think that Edgar kept certain new Phyrexia cards out of his deck because he didn't have them foiled? And that is a decent question. Because when, you know, besides beyond some people just want their deck fully pimped or it's unacceptable, you know, there is sometimes the cards feel a little different, you know, and like...
Oh, you're actually taking that seriously.
Yeah, no,
I see what you're saying, yeah. Landale, speaking of foils, Landale adds a foiled Jace versus Chandra, Jace Bellerin, the Japanese Jace versus Chandra, Jace Bellerin, to the battlefield. +2s it, so it's on 5 counters. At least that's what it looks like. Both players drawing a card.
He's just going to deck him here?
Yeah, I think that's his plan. It says, you think I'm Rug? You think I'm Splinter Twin? I'm going to deck you with Jace Bellerin.
That hasn't happened to you in a while, has it?
Yeah. Surprise, Turbo Fog.
I don't even know if Edgar was playing when Turbo Fog goes out.
Yeah, you're probably right. So Edgar adds a Celestial Colonnade to the board, passes back. Tim now going to draw some cards.
Yeah, I don't even have it. Like, if I did, I would.
I got it. Edgar obviously prepping to violin the Sword of Feast and Famine, but holding up mana just in case Tim threatens to do something that Edgar doesn't like. Has the Mana Leak or Spell Pierce mana open.
And Tim is going to tap out for something here. Hopefully not Splinter Twin. There we go. Oracle of Moldiah.
Oracle of Moldiah. I mean, that's a reasonable threat in the Rug deck, and there's only one in there, so that's it. Landale resolves Oracle of Moldiah, sees land on top of his deck, one of which is the Halimar Depths. He plays Halimar Depths and gets to look at the top 3. Yeah, so Edgar representing Mana Leak. I think I would have countered the Oracle, so I have a feeling Edgar doesn't have the Mana Leak.
Yeah.
But he could. I could be wrong. There's the Vilden's Sword of Feast and Famine. So on board now, Edgar Flores with an Inkmoth Nexus, a Seachrome Coast, and a Celestial Colonnade for his lands, all untapped. He adds a Plains to that suite of lands, a Stoneforge Mystic, and an unequipped Sword of Feast and Famine. On Tim Landale's side of the board, we've got a Japanese Jace versus Chandra, Jace Bellerin, a Oracle of Moldiah, freshly cast, and 5 tapped lands with a Copperline Gorge on the top of Landale's library.
I'm surprised that we haven't seen anyone, maybe it's too cute, but I'm surprised we haven't seen anyone try to flash in a Jin Gataxias with the sword.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed
Yeah.
about that. Maybe we'll see some Jin Gataxias in Legacy.
Maybe we will.
So, looks like Inkmoth Nexus is about to pick up a sword, at least that's my guess here. Yeah,
Yep.
Inkmoth Nexus becomes a creature, picks up Sword of Feast and Famine, and hits Tim Landale for 3 poison, untapping Flores' lands, including the Inkmoth Nexus that just swung in. That's one of the craziest interactions, I feel like, with Sword of Feast and Famine
really
on man lands. I love it. And now Edgar trying to decide what exactly he wants to do with the rest of his turn and all that mana he has again. So taps a white, taps his Plains. Oust your Oracle of Moldiah. So put it under that Copperline Gorge, and now the Copperline Gorge face down again on Landale's library. So again, I think Flores knows the power of Oracle of Moldiah, and representing Mana Leak earlier didn't counter it. Tells me he doesn't have it. Now I couldn't see his hand, so I don't know if that's true or not, but I think that's likely. So he taps his Inkmoth Nexus for mana, and also taps the Celestial Colony to add a second Stoneforge Mystic to the board, tutoring up a Sword of War and Peace. Sword of War and Peace. We've seen that a little bit this weekend. I think right now the most popular equipment to get has been Sword of Feast and Famine, from what I could tell, and then Batterskull.
Sword of War Peace hasn't done quite as much as really expected.
Yeah. After doing that flurry of action on Edgar's side, he passes the turn back to Tim, who draws his Copperline Gorge that we all knew was there. We know now that Oracle of Moldiah is the top card of Tim's library from the Oust that Edgar played.
Well, I guess you answered the guy's shirt's question.
I didn't see his shirt.
He said, "What do you know?"
Oh, well, it's getting a little louder in here, so I'll say Landale appears to have several Jace the Mind Sculptors in hand. 2 Jaces in hand, 1 Lotus Cobra that just was cast. Jace Bellerin draws the Oracle of Moldiah off the top, and Landale adds that to the board. So Landale goes Lotus Cobra, draw off Jace, play Oracle of Moldiah, and now he's playing lands off the top of his deck. He just played an island. Now he's got a Raging Ravine on the top of his deck. So that Oracle right back in play. Edgar was unable to deal with it on the way down anyway. And at this point, Landale's getting plenty of value off of it, so a second Oust on that Oracle doesn't even seem like it matters at this point, because Landale's already gotten so much value off of that Oracle. And now, I mean, in addition to the Lotus Cobra being in play, just giving Landale the opportunity to cast a Preordain, which is what he just did. So he has a Jace Bellerin on top of his library, and draws that off of the Preordain. So, and now on top of his library is a Misty Rainforest. So Landale's side of the board, 6 lands all tapped. Jace Bellerin on 3 counters, I believe.
I think so.
Lotus Cobra and Oracle of Moldiah, both untapped. Passes the turn to Edgar Flores, who has 4 lands in play, 2 of which are Inkmoth Nexuses. He's got 2 Stoneforge Mystics and 1 Sword of Feast and Famine. We know he has Sword of War and Peace in hand. He tutored it up with a Stoneforge Mystic. Flores again, goes with activating the Inkmoth Nexus and equipping it with Sword of Feast and Famine. In for 3 poison. So Landale on quite a clock if he can't deal with that Inkmoth Nexus holding swords. So Landale up to 6 poison. Edgar Landale discarded Jace Bellerin, by the way. Edgar untaps his lands and passes back. So, prepping to vial in the Sword of War and Peace, I think, at this point. Landale draws for the turn, which was the Misty Rainforest we all saw, and has a Halimar Depths on the top of his library, which he puts into play because of the from the Oracle of Landale. Shows a Copperline Gorge on top of his library, a Preordain, and a Deceiver Exarch. He's resolving the Halimar Depths at the moment. So he gets to reorder those.
I love the interaction with the Oracle and Jace Bellerin.
Yeah, so you can just take the card off the top if it's not a land.
Yeah. I think it's a really cool interaction.
I mean, I actually completely forgot that this had the Deceiver combo in it, like until just now.
You what?
I'm just watching Landale play Rug, and I'm completely forgetting that there's a Deceiver Twin combo in this deck until it's just top deck, or not top deck, but Halimar Depths into the Deceiver Exarch. So.
Well, I'm sure he's hoping for the same thing from Edgar. That he forgot also.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Those are some crazy interactions. Like Jace's with Oracle of Maldaya. Either Jace seems good. So top card is Copperline Gorge. He's going to play a second land for the turn. Puts it into play tap. Top card is Deceiver Exarch. Jace Bellerin looks like he's about to get that card for Tim. Yep. So he draws the Deceiver Exarch, revealing Preordain on top of his library. So just to let you guys know, it appears that he does have the Splinter Twin in hand. So he's got the combo in hand, and he's got, right now, 7 mana untapped, which means he's got the entire... Yeah, he's got the mana to do the entire combo right now if he does not choose to play around any sort of disruption from Edgar. So, Edgar, end of turn, flashes in Sword of War and Peace, as we expected.
Sword of... kill you a lot if you don't do something about me.
Sort of.
God.
Sort of.
Hey, a birthday cake. Holy crap.
Whose birthday is it?
Somebody gets a spanking. Whose birthday is it?
Actually, we had 4 judges pass their exams yesterday.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
Congratulations to 4 judges who have passed their exams.
Can we get a piece of cake?
Come on over.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
All right, so Landale reading Sword of War and Peace, trying to see exactly how much trouble he's in, if he is in trouble.
He's at 6 poison. Add 2 sword, give me +5/+5.
Yeah, he's got Deceiver Exarch in his hand. Tap down whatever he equips.
Oh yeah, good point.
That's why I said if he's in trouble.
Oh yeah, he has plenty of mana. Okay, never mind.
He's got 7
lands.
lands.
I didn't see the 4 islands that were untapped over there. I just saw the 3 other lands.
So, Edgar looks like he activated an Inkmoth Nexus very slowly. He knows that he's in danger of losing pretty quickly to Landale's combo if Landale has the Splinter Twin, which of course we know he does. Edgar does not know for sure. Unless he could hear me say that, which I doubt, because it's very loud in here now. It's getting much louder.
Yeah.
Which I'm confident he could not hear me. He's on the other side of the room. So it's crazy. Right now, the situation on board, both players have what looks like a potential win, like just out of reach.
Yeah.
The board is really, really packed with permanents.
He knows he can't. Edgar knows he can't go for, equipping both swords.
Right.
Because then he leaves himself. But then again,
if only Exalted,
it doesn't freaking matter.
If only Noble Hierarch were around.
Right, but I'm saying
if he has Mana Leak for the Splinter Twin, you're right.
It doesn't matter because I'm saying because he's got so many lands,
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Mana Leak doesn't matter.
Just flash an Exarch and then
pay for the Mana Leak or whatever. Yeah,
pay for the Mana Leak, and then he can also then play Splinter Twin.
That's what I mean. Pay for the Mana Leak off the Splinter Twin. I assume he's not even going to counter the Exarch. But
right.
Yeah. Either way, Edgar does activate an Inkmoth Nexus and equips it with Sword of War and Peace.
Do we know if Tim has the Splinter Twin in hand right now?
Yes, we do. You're not paying attention.
Not a little. I was talking to Twitter.
Stop talking to Twitter. Talk to Twitter in between. Did he? Rashad thinks Edgar just passed the turn.
Huh.
After activating... Yeah, he did. That's why the Inkmoth Nexus is back there. Changed his mind. So he activates Inkmoth Nexus, equips it with Sword of War and Peace, changes his mind, and passes the turn. So this is the end of Edgar's turn right now. Landale considering the Exarch, but a little bit afraid now after that.
I guess he figures he might as well represent... what's it called? The hard counter? Not cancel might as well be. But,
Stoic Rebuttal, is that what you're trying to say? So Landale decides not to play the Exarch. Draws a Preordain off the top, and then a flurry of lands off of the top from his Oracle of Moldiah. Now on top of his library is that Nature's Claim?
Yes, it is.
But it is currently out of reach unless he activates Bellerin's draw ability. Or plays Preordain. That'll work too. So he draws, or he at least gets to take a look at that Nature's Claim and the Jace the Mind Sculptor sitting on top. Looks like Jace on the bottom and Nature's Claim on top, which he draws. Preordain to the graveyard. Top card is another Nature's Claim. So Landale looking in a really good position right now, being able to take out those swords. No longer fearing the swords.
Yeah, he can even take out the Nexus, can he? Or is it is Nature's Claim a sorcerer? I'm looking it up.
It passes the turn back to Flores.
Yeah, Nature's Claim's an instant. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm sure Nature's Claim's an instant. So he doesn't have to fear the Nexuses. He doesn't have to fear the swords.
Right.
Edgar seems to be really waffling on his plays right now because he'll like pick up something, start to tap it, turn it backwards, pick something else up. I mean, we saw what he did last turn. So, all right, this time he says, activating Moth Nexus. He did this last turn, didn't make a difference, didn't do anything. In with Ink Moth Nexus. This is Nature's Claim it. All right, so Nature's Claim on one of the Ink Moth Nexuses.
Right. And Edgar gains for a relevant life. Edgar could be at 85 right now, and it would not make a difference.
Yeah. There's a Splinter Twin on top. So now Edgar knows it's available. Landale says, yeah, I want to draw that, because I may not have that in my hand already. We, of course, know he does. And there's an Explorer on top of Landale's library.
Yeah, he can't survive a double leak on the twin, but Edgar would have to have double leak in hand to do that, which is definitely what he's representing right now. Alright, Tim's going to play Missing Rainforest. Now he actually will have the mana to avoid to get around double leak. So that's
added
huge.
a mana from Cobra. Taps 2 more. 3 more, so there's 4 mana. Don't play Jace the Mind Sculptor. Oh, he's going to activate a Raging Ravine.
Huh.
Not what I expected.
No.
I'm attacking with Raging Ravine.
I guess he feels confident that he's not going to die to poison at this point, so he can start taking out the guys and doing something else, and he's got the other plan to fall back on.
Yeah, he's really playing Rug and Splinter Twin in the same deck. In fact, in the same hand.
Yeah, and he's got it all
right now, sitting there,
and he can do what he wants right now.
So the Raging Ravine connects for 4, putting Edgar back to his starting life total. After the Nature's Claim put him up to 24. So it looked like an oust for the Oracle of Moldiah. Again, Landale has gotten so much off of that Oracle, I don't know that it matters.
Please find your appropriate pod. On your table will be a sheet that has
Yeah, the
everyone's
damage has
name
already
and
been
a
done with the
seal sign.
Oracle.
Please find a case with the appropriate
Flores
number and take your
getting in
seat.
with
Once
two
again,
Stoneforge Mystics
lot of
unequipped.
practice for the first
Notably
draft
unequipped
open.
because
Totally
Edgar doesn't want to tap the mana to
find
leave
your
himself
pawn
open to the
and take your
combo.
seat.
Yep.
So it looks like Landale looks like he's tapping 3. May flash in a Deceiver Exarch at this point to block. Yep, that's what he's doing. Or he at least flashes it in to do something here.
I don't know if he needs to block.
I don't know that he needs to block either, but he untaps his Raging Ravine, taps 4. He's blocking.
Oh my goodness.
He looks like he's activating Raging Ravine. Block.
Double block, yeah. It appears that way.
Take out one of the Stoneforge Mystics.
Or I guess, yeah. Yep.
And Edgar looks like he passed the turn. Landale untapping the mountain of lands he has over there, including only one actual mountain. Taking a look at Edgar's list here.
Okay, let's see what he does here. Okay, he's going to explore.
Explore right into that Oracle of Moldiah.
Indicated by his hand gestures. You can always tell with Edgar, just by looking at his hands, how little he cares about his opponent's play.
When that's the case.
Right, exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. There's Oracle of Moldiah making a 3rd appearance, the same one Oracle in the deck, making a 3rd appearance in the game, showing a Lotus Cobra on top of the deck. Looking at Edgar's list, it's his old list with Batterskull and sort of War and Peace, and other than that, nothing from New Phyrexia. He cut the Sun Titan from the main deck and put it in the board. Still plays no Gideons. 2 Jace Beller and 4 Jace the Mind Sculptor in there. And you guys have access to this as well on the StarCityGames.com website, the coverage of the Orlando Open Series. The top 16 deck lists are available. So Landale looks like he's chosen to activate his Raging Ravine, play a Lotus Cobra. Well, he moved the Rage. He has 8 mana tapped right now.
He played
Oracle of Moldiah, right?
Right.
He just moved. Maybe the Raging Ravine being up there is what made me think it was activated. But he did play an Oracle of Moldiah. I'm sorry, played Oracle, played Lotus Cobra. Yeah, you're right. Maybe he didn't activate it. Just confused me because it was up there. I was looking at the deck list.
You know, he played Explore. That's the other 2.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
That's right. I forgot too because he explored into the Oracle.
Right. So. But he can activate that with the 2 Cobras out. He can activate the Ravine at any time.
So
the equip.
Edgar looks like he's going to go aggro now. Yeah, he's trying to consider how he wants to do this because, that's that about looks like what I think he felt like. You know, he probably looks exactly the way I expected him to look or feel.
I mean, this seems pretty easy for Tim.
Yeah, Tim's really on multiple plans right now. He's got both wins. It's like winning with infect and damage.
All Tim has to do right now is Nature's Claim the green sword, the pro green sword, right? Which he's not. I mean, which obviously isn't happening right now. But like, he would have to Nature's Claim the green sword if he were to try to swing in or something, and then block. So he doesn't get his lands on tap. And of course, Edgar again is playing conservatively, which is the right thing for him to do right here.
So Landale now on his turn untaps those tons of lands. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 lands on Landale's side of the board. Plays a Jace the Mind Sculptor. Draws the Mana Leak revealed off the top of his deck. Or actually brainstorms, so he draws it, but he's brainstorming into it.
I want to know why.
So he shows Forest and Deceiver Exarch, so we know now he's got a Deceiver Exarch in play.
He can literally play the combo twice right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering why he's playing so conservatively as well. Like, at this point, just try to go off, and if you don't, you have all those other...
You can play another... You can hardcast another Exarch and another Twin. If Edgar has a counterspell. Edgar can't counter more than 2 spells right now. You know what I mean? And he can pay for any sort of counter spells that he might have. So I'm kind of shocked by all this.
Yeah, I would like to ask him what he's
I understand
what he's playing around.
Playing conservatively, but like, I mean, he can literally win twice right now.
Possibly 3 times.
Right.
If you count all the permanents on the board. But decides to go with activating the Raging Ravine, swing in. Kind of missing the flurry of activity happening here. Was that? Cobra traded with the.
He Nature's claimed the sword.
Nature's claimed the sword, so Cobra traded with the Stone Vortex.
Tectonic Edge.
I didn't even see Tectonic Edge on board. That's what I missed.
It was under the Ink Moth.
That's why I didn't see it. So.
And then he traded with the Cobra.
And that's enough to take it to game 3. Landale saying, I don't even need this combo that I have 2 copies of in my hand and a 3rd Splitter Twin on top of my library. I'll just beat you with Rug.
Try to use the combo like 4 turns ago. I mean,
I feel like
he had he was like totally resilient against like. I mean, the only thing he wasn't, he didn't have an out to was double Flash Freeze. But I don't know if Flores would be bringing in double Flash Freeze. You know, like. I
don't know. Flash Freeze seems decent against Rug. There's plenty of green spells.
Against Rug, yeah. I guess you're right. Never mind.
You're thinking against the typical Deceiver Twin.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah,
Grixis Twin or something. Yeah, right. I don't think Flash Freeze is.
The Flash Freeze actually would be great there, and so that does make a lot of sense that there would be hard counters that cost 2.
Right. But I guess the way I look at it is, I'm like, all right, I've got a really good board position right now. I've already dug through an entire Jace Bellerin, who also happened to have a +2 at one point. So I've drawn 6 cards off of Jace Bellerin.
Right.
And now I have Jace the Mind Sculptor in play. I mean, he just played that this last turn, so maybe that's not what I shouldn't use that as an example. But he had a really good board position. Nature's Claim for swords and Inkmoth Nexuses, which he did end up taking out one of the Inkmoth Nexuses.
Yeah.
So, as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to go combo. Can you stop it? All right. If you stopped it, I still have a board position. Or, in this case, as it started getting later, he can go combo. Can you stop it? Okay, you stopped it. Combo. Can you stop it again? Okay, now I still have a good board position. He went kind of backwards with it, where he's like, I have a good board position. I'm just going to try to win with what you can see, and rather than using the combo, which seems to me like if you can just win, why draw it out and try to grind it out with what you have on board? Why not make that your backup plan when you have the combo? You know, you know what I'm saying? Like in the position he was in. Mm-hmm. Maybe when he's looking at the deck, the twin combo is his backup plan. You know what I mean? Maybe that's considered his backup plan. But when he's got the combo in hand, why not go off? Why not just do it?
Right.
In the position he was in. Again,
right. I mean,
you don't just do it willy-nilly. But I mean. I think it was right to be. Sorry.
Well, no, I mean Edgar literally needed double Flash Freeze at that point to be able to stop the combo.
Right.
Like Mana Leak was totally irrelevant.
Mana Leak may have been relevant a little bit. They're saying perhaps Tim was worried about active aggression, but haven't they seen the list? Edgar's not running.
Deck list.
Yeah, Edgar's not running. Huh? Who did? Right. Right, well,
the only way that Edgar was going to win was by committing more points to the board and tapping out. So, if Edgar doesn't do that, Tim wins. If Edgar does do that, then he just...
Right, I see what you're saying. Like, basically, Tim, just the threat of the combo kept Edgar from being able to do anything because he had to worry about protecting against the combo. So Landale says, all right, while you do nothing, I'm just going to beat you on board. So that makes sense. Rashad adding some very sound logic to the discussion here. I guess maybe we're more about the flash, you know, and I don't mean flash in this.
You're more
I mean
flash.
Being flashy, you know, like Deceiver Exarch. I'm gonna flash this in and play the Splinter Twin combo. You know, I want to win this way. I guess I'm excited to see the combo happen. So maybe that's why I'm.
Here's the.
Yeah.
To
see. Yeah. Exactly.
We haven't seen a Splinter Twin.
Right, exactly. We haven't seen the combo happen. We've just seen people say, hey, look, I have it.
Flores has no
active aggression.
It has no Flash Freezes.
Oh, he has no flash. Yeah, you're right.
So I just looked at his list, and like, yeah, so I mean, like, there literally was nothing holding Tim from just like ending that game. That's what we want to see. We want to see the next game. We don't want to see like.
I want to see the combo.
well, yeah, there's that too. But we've seen the combo at this point. I want to see the Blood Chief Ascension Mind Crank combo still. Let's see that in Legacy today. How about that?
Yeah, Blood Chief Mind Crank in Legacy.
Let's do it.
So there's Legacy today. When is that?
That's right after this.
Right after this.
Well, after the finals.
That's awesome. Drew Levin walking by.
Speaking of Legacy.
Jerry Thompson also.
Not to discredit Jerry from Legacy. But he is walking next to a Stone Master.
Yeah, those guys. That's a lot of skill that just walked by this table.
Yeah.
A lot of Magic.
The skill level of this table just went up by their presence.
Yeah, exactly. Tumble Magnet, this is just off of Twitter, and I'm just reading it. Tumble Magnet can stop the combo for 3 turns, which can get you to a Jace or Bounce spell. That's, I don't even know if that's, like... Yeah, well, you tap it with Tumble Magnet. Yeah, I mean, basically, as soon as they untap, they just go off. So if your Tumble Magnet's still tapped...
Yeah, Tumble Magnet doesn't stop.
Yeah, it slows it down very slowly, very slightly. Like, that's it. Like you said, just a turn, right. So, because you tap with Tumble Magnet, yeah. And then when they get to untap, that's it. Well, wait a minute. During their turn, they play Splinter Twin, right? On it. You tap their guy, right? Right, but your turn, you untap your Tumble Magnet, so it's available again. They untap, they tap it to. Oh, never mind. Yeah, you're right. And then you tap their guy, and they're like, fine, I get a guy. You know, tap it to get a. Wait, they get a guy. It doesn't matter. They get a guy. They untap it again. Yeah,
it doesn't work.
You're right. You're right. Sorry, I was thinking. Well, they get to untap the Tumble Magnet, but that's right.
Those of you suggesting ways to stop the combo on Twitter.
Combust.
Suggest correct ways. I'm just kidding.
No. No, that is a good thought. Like, it's a new thing. So, all right. So Edgar Flores on the play, leads with a Colonnade, and then turn 2 Seachrome Coast, and turn 3 Oust to Landale's. What was that? Was that a Lotus Cobra in play? It's already gone.
Yeah.
So and Flores adds a Stoneforge Mystic to the board. These guys are playing super fast. I think Combust is the best answer in the format right now because it's uncounterable and unpreventable. So this time, there's a Batterskull. So that's one of the new additions, one of the only new additions to Edgar Flores' blue-white list from New Phyrexia. So Flores now 3 tapped lands and a Stoneforge Mystics, which just tutored up a Batterskull. Tim Landale with an Island and a Copperline Gorge, and a Scalding Tarn, which he just cracked for an Island. So I smell a Jace Bellerin.
Yeah, seems about right.
Smells just like any other Magic card. Strange.
Yeah, Charlotte's right. Tim should have revealed the top card of his library after drawing 3 with Jace.
I saw that too, but you know, sometimes I don't think it was that relevant. Explore. No, I was wrong. No Jace Bellerin. So, explore, draw, pass the turn. No, play Mountain. Pass the turn. So, Edgar Flores now. Tim Landale has broken serve. Taking an extra land drop there. Basically, that's what Explore does, right? Break serve. You're on the draw. Suddenly, you're on the play, based on board position and cards. So, Tectonic Edge for the Copperline Gorge from Flores, and Landale gets his turn back. So, Landale
doesn't look happy with getting that green source.
No, yeah, that's big because he's got a Lotus Cobra sitting on the top of his hand where he looked like he wanted to play it. So he's got
sitting
Island.
on top of his hand?
It's sitting there. It's sitting there like a snake sits. Yeah, so he's got 3 islands and a mountain. Jace Mind Sculptor will help, yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of answers in the format. Combust seems like a really good one. We were saying this yesterday. There are a lot of answers. Here's just a couple more. Suture Priest, which we mentioned yesterday. Norn's Annex is another one that was mentioned yesterday. Urabrask, another one mentioned yesterday. But for those of you who weren't watching yesterday, That Damn Aussie gives us some of those suggestions from Twitter.
We weren't making fun of him there.
That's his name. Yeah.
Charlotte Charlotte actually says, and I agree with this 100%. It may not have been relevant, but it is the rules.
You're talking about the revealed card.
And there's a
yeah,
chance it can be abused if it's done repeatedly.
Well, the judge by the table should have caught that as well,
right?
And maybe caught it, but at the time when it happened, it was right at the end of the game.
That's why I hate Oracle of Moldiah with Jace the Mind Sculptor. It's just a headache.
Yeah, well,
like, they should ban those two cards in the same deck.
Shut up about the banning.
Just that. So, no, I mean, like, I don't care about Jace.
You don't care. You don't care about Stoneforge Mystic. So anyway,
I do care.
Jace got spell pierced, by the way. So Flores spell pierced away to Jace the Mind Sculptor, and now for his turn,
Skulls may get battered here.
His turn, he did nothing. Landale just added a Scalding Tarn to the board, passed back. At the end of Landale's turn, Flores vialed in a Batterskull, and so now untaps with a Batterskull Germ and a Stoneforge Mystic in play, alongside his 2 Seachrome Coasts and a Celestial Colonnade. Landale with an empty board, no non-land permanents, just Scalding Tarn, Mountain, and 3 islands, so no green sources for Landale. Very significant in a rug deck. And a second Jace the Mind Sculptor comes down and gets Spell Pierced yet again. At least I believe it was Spell Pierce. Could have been Mana Leak. It's off the table right now, or off camera. Vials in. It was a Spell Pierce. He vials in sort of Feast and Famine. Untaps, plays a Celestial Colonnade, and goes to equip. He's trying to decide Germ or Stoneforge. Germ's picking up the sword. I'm going to batter you, and then I'm going to cut you. It's a lot of weaponry. So the Stoneforge Mystic in for 1, like a Squire, and the Batterskull Germ is a 6/6, pro-black, pro-green, lifelink, vigilance, and untaps his lands, makes Landale discard a Lotus Cobra, and Edgar passes a turn with a commanding position, 30 life to Landale's 11.
And a top-decked Misty Rainforest probably makes him regretting ditching that Cobra.
Mm-hmm. Really could have been significant. There's the Misty Rainforest go. Landale 6 lands and nothing else. No business. Flores obviously feels pretty good right now. Plays a Jace Bellerin.
Smashes it.
After adding a Tectonic Edge to the board. Draw a card. I'm not going to give you any more cards. Or I'm not going to give you a chance to dig back into this game. I'm going to just draw myself. So, in again. 6/6 Germ. Edgar to 36 life. Landale to 4, I believe.
He could attempt, if he had the Exarch, he could attempt the combo right here, but he's a Nature's Claim the land, or the sword, not the Batterskull.
Oh, okay, so the attack didn't resolve. I'm sorry, I was... What did he got rid of the sword, okay.
Right.
So,
the double Tectonic Edge, which isn't actually relevant right here. Doesn't have any basics, or any non-basics.
Right.
Except for the Tarn, which you could force him to fetch right here.
Yeah, I mean, you could force him to fetch, but
that'll kill him. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if he forces him,
I see what you're saying.
Like,
yeah.
if he needs the double red to go off with
if that's going to kill him, he's just not going to fetch.
But he's also got 5. He's only 5 left right here anyway. So there's a Lightning Bolt.
Lightning Bolt for Stoneforge Mystic.
Do it the old way.
That resolves. Stoneforge Mystic dies. Batterskull in for 4, putting Landale to 1 life. Can no longer use that Scalding Tarn.
Nope.
Pass the turn.
He actually has the egg. Does he have the Exarch in hand?
I don't know if he has the Exarch. He has the twin. Jace draws a card. Goes away. And Nature's Claim on the Batterskull.
Huh.
Keep him alive just a little bit longer.
Nature's Claim.
Yeah, but what does he got? Spell Pierce, Mana Leak? None of that's relevant.
True.
Doesn't have Flash Freeze.
That's right. True.
So countering it's not going to do anything unless he's got multiple counters, which of course would win him the game. There's Jace the Mind Sculptor for Edgar. After the Batterskull went away and the Germ also went away, although this does seem to be hanging out railbirding right now. There it is. Edgar Flores on to the finals yet again at 42 life at the end of that game. I don't even know if it may have been more than 42. Wow. Maybe just gained more. I don't even know, but wow. Edgar